Done. So, file system hierarchy standard, today's topic. In the last session, we discussed about the futures of Linux. What are the futures we have in Linux that we discussed in our last session? Now,
Ma'am,
it is about...
I asked one question actually. Did you listen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Shekhar, you can ask.
Actually, ma'am, I was going through the syllabus that mentioned on the website, on this your website actually.
Okay.
So I was going through that. They mentioned the basics of Linux, and there is 10 topics under that. And again, there was a Linux administration. There is also 14 topics are there under that Linux administration.
Yeah.
And then Linux networking. So I think in 3 parts you are going to teach us, right?
Basics
These
of networking. See,
parts.
yes, starting basics, then system administration part means permissions, modifying the permissions, this all comes the partitions, and network administration part, all the servers you will get. Same thing. On day one, I gave the content, right? Same, I gave content in the day one.
Okay, but I have one question that you have mentioned that you are going to teach file system hierarchy standards, right? This comes under Linux administration. That is the second part of the syllabus you have mentioned in the website actually.
No, this is these are the directories. Now, what I'm explaining is about directories. What are the, while installing the operating system, what you get along with the operating system, that I'm telling. So initially we should know about it. And in further classes, how to use these directories, I will show where we use these directories.
Ma'am, I have one
classes.
request. I have one request. So as per this comes under means basic Unix, right?
Basic,
Or
yes,
Linux.
yes.
Yes. So these are actually third topic, create files and directories and using and listing the files. Am I
This
correct?
is not about files. This is not about files.
Okay. So
This is
actually,
different.
I just wanted you to mention the exact topic that you have met on the website.
If you attended day one class or not, in day one, I mentioned the content.
Attended.
Just, please just check that content. So whatever is there in website, all the topics I will cover here, but I designed it as per the students. I designed it. So how students will understand, in that way I designed my class. Whatever, every topic, more than they mentioned in the website, I will cover here. 100%. Everything I will cover here. But I designed it based on the student's level. I want every student should understand my concepts.
Okay,
So
good. That is good.
In one way, I created this. So how students will understand?
I wanted to that topic name means that mentioned on the website. I just had to relate this current topic with that send website topics. Are you getting?
Yes. Should I start this file system hierarchy now?
Okay, ma'am.
Then, so file system hierarchy standard. What is the concept of this? Means, if you observe, in Windows, A and B are reserved for floppy, whether you are using or not. A and B are reserved for floppy. It starts creating the drives from C. That is in Windows. It starts creating the drives from C. Right? So C is a primary partition where we install the operating system. It is a primary partition, compulsory partition in Windows. And after entering to the operating system, if you open your C drive, there you can see default folders. They come along with the operating system itself. Default folders like System32, programs, user, administrator, library, documents, you'll get the folders default. Similarly, in Linux also, after installing the operating system, okay, here also you can see some default directories. What is this directory? Means folder. In Windows we call folder, in Linux we call directory. Only name is different. Okay, so here we have default directories. So what are the default directories we have in Linux that I'm explaining now? While installing the operating system, what we get along with the operating system, that I'm explaining now as file system hierarchy standard. So these are the default directories we have in Linux. If you install Linux operating system, you will get these directories by default. Directory means folder, remember. So the first one is forward slash. Forward slash is a primary partition. This is the top level directory. So this forward slash is a parent directory or top level directory in Linux. I'm repeating. Forward slash is a parent directory or top level directory in Linux. It is similar to C drive in Windows. This is similar to C drive in Windows. Means in Windows, C drive is compulsory. Here, forward slash is compulsory. Under this forward slash, we have this all subdirectories. How we have subfolders under C drive. Similarly, under this forward slash, we have this subdirectories. Directory means folder. That point is clear, right? Sai, is this today first class? Mahesh, you're able to hear?
Yes, miss.
Come again? Manasa?
Yeah, I can understand what you said.
Done. I'm not repeating again, I'm telling. Any doubts are there, ask me. Okay, otherwise I'll continue with
But
the session
practically,
slowly.
you can show me it is very understandable.
Yes, this all I will show practically also, but after installing the operating system. See, starting classes is theory part. So as of now, operating system is not installed, no? After installing operating system, you will get one by one everything. I'll show you. Most probably tomorrow I will install the operating system. Once OS is installed, daily practicals will be there. Clear, Mansa? So now the first subdirectory under forward slash is root. Root is the home directory for super user. Root is the home directory for super user. As a super user means administrator. In Windows we call administrator. In Linux we call super user. Only name is different. In Windows we can say administrator account. Administrator means they have full privileges. They can install, they can uninstall, they can create, they can delete, they can do everything. Right. So in Linux, we call it as super user. Root is the home directory for super user. It means as a super user, you logged in into computer and you create any files or directories. That data by default is going to store under root. Root is the home directory for super user. As a super user, you logged in into computer, and if you create any files or directories, that data by default is going to store under root. If you want, you can change the location. You can store the data into different partitions, but by default, it stores the data into root directory. Okay. So, and next one is home. Home is the home directory for normal user. As a normal user, you logged in into computer And if you create any files or directories, that data is going to store under home. Now, as an example, you created a user Tom. Okay, so Tom user logged in and Tom is creating any files or directories, the data is going to store under home directory. Now you created a user John. So when John logged in and John is creating any files or directories, it stores the data under home. Now, how to find which is Tom data and which is John data? You may get that doubt. Here, once a user is created in Linux, along with the user, it automatically creates a directory with same username. It means when Tom user created, it automatically creates a directory with Tom name under home directory. Subdirectory it creates. Now, when you create John user, immediately it creates a directory with the name John. Where it creates it means under home directory. So, when Tom user logged in and Tom is creating any files or directory, the data it stores under Tom directory, which is under home. When John user logged in and John created any files or directories, that data it stores in John's directory, which is located under home. Okay, so I'm repeating / it is a parent directory or top level directory in Linux. It is similar to C drive in Windows. Root is the home directory for super user, means administrator. As a super user, you logged in into computer, and if you create any files or directories, the data it stores under root. And home is the home directory for normal user. As a normal user, you logged in into computer, and if you create any files or directories, the data it stores under home. Boot contains bootable files, operating system bootable files stored under boot. Also kernel. In last session, I told you about kernel, right? So it is a default software. It is a small software in our operating system. That kernel also stored under boot. Kernel also stored under boot up to Linux version 5. Sorry, Linux version 6. Kernel also stored under boot. And next one is sbin. Sbin contains super user commands, the commands which can be executed by super user. That commands are stored under sbin. Bin contains normal user commands, the commands which can be executed by
Can
normal
you please
user.
explain boot again? Boot.
Boot contains bootable files, operating system bootable files.
Bootable files is nothing but, ma'am.
Operating system files.
Okay.
Loading while installing the when you switch on the machine, it will show you loading, right? When you switch on your computer, it will while loading, it will load all the files from boot.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Supporting files which required to switch on your computer. So that file stores under boot. Clear that?
Yeah.
Done. So as you know that Linux works with commands. So where the commands are stored means the commands which can be executed by super user. That commands are stored under sbin. And the commands which can be executed by normal user. That commands are stored under bin. Sbin contains super user commands. Bin contains normal user commands. Okay, the next one is USR. USR contains default applications. Applications which comes along with the operating system by default. Some applications comes along with the operating system by default. No need to, means which comes along with the operating system. Like say for example, in Windows, if you install Windows operating system, Windows Media Player, you will get along with the operating system. You may use or not, but it comes along with the operating system, right? So that type of applications which comes along with operating system, that applications are stored under USR. USR contains default applications. And next one is where. Where contains.
Please repeat again. USR,
not user, USR. USR contains default applications. Applications which comes along with operating system. Some applications comes along with the operating system by default. That applications are stored under USR. Clear this? Clear the point?
Yes, yes.
Done. And next one is var. Var contains variable files, means system log files are stored under var. It is like task manager in Windows. In Windows, if you open task manager, you can see what are the applications are running background, and what is the CPU you are using, how much CPU you are using, how much memory you are using, what are the applications are open, which users are logged in. It will show all the information. Same here also. Var contains variable files. System log files are stored under var. Clear this var? How many users are logged in? So at what time user is logged in? What are the commands they executed? What applications they are running? That information is stored under var. Is that clear? And next one is dev. Dev contains devices information. Devices means partitions. In Windows we call partition. Here we call device. So dev contains devices information. How many devices, means how many partitions are created, what is the size of partition. See, if you open your computer, if you open my PC or my computer, if you open in Windows, you can see the partitions information. So similarly in Linux, dev contains devices informations. Okay, means partitions information. Dev contains partitions information. In Windows we call partition, in Linux we call device. And next one is etc. etc contains configuration file. etc contains configuration files. As we discussed in the last session, Linux works with configuration files. So all the configuration files are stored under etc. So etc contains configuration files. OPT. OPT contains optional applications, means applications which we install manually. Some applications we don't get along with the operating system. If we want, we install them manually. Like third-party tools. You want to install something, Maya software, you will install. You want to install Oracle, will install it. So like that, applications which we install manually, they are not compulsory to install. If we want, we install. So that type of applications are stored under OPT. I'm repeating. USR contains default applications which comes along with operating system. Var contains variable files. System log files are stored under var. Dev contains devices information, means partitions information. etc contains configuration files. System configuration files are stored under etc. OPT contains optional applications which we install manually. That applications are stored under OPT. Applications which we install manually. That applications are stored under OPT. And next one is media. Media contains external devices information, means removable devices information, like external hard disk, external DVD writers, pen drives. External devices means removable devices information, like pen drives, USB devices, external hard disk, DVD writers. All this information is stored under media. M&T contains partitions and their mounted directories information. In Linux, once we create partition and format the partition, we cannot access partition directly. We cannot double click on any partition. Okay, no double clicks and right clicks options. Then how we access the partition, how we store the data in the partitions means we create a directory and will give the link between partition and directory. That is called mounting. Once a directory is linked with a partition, if you open the directory and if you create any data, if you create any files, if you create any directories, whatever we create in the directories, that data is going to store under partition. If you want to check the content of your partition, just open the directory which is linked. You can see the content. If you want to delete something from the partition, just open the directory which is linked and delete from there. So this concept, theoretically, if I explain, you don't understand definitely. When I show you practically, then only you will understand. As of now, MNT means MNT contains partitions and their mounted directories information. Means which partition is linked with which directory. That information is maintained by MNT. Just remember that point. MNT contains partitions and their mounted directories information. It means which partition is linked with which directory. That information is maintained by MNT. That's it. So how we give the link, how to access, everything I'll show you practically. Okay. And next one is run. Run contains kernel from version 7. Linux version 7, RHEL version 7. Up to version 6, Linux version 6, boot contains kernel. Boot contains kernel, but from RHEL version 7, run contains kernel. And also from RHEL version 7 onwards, external devices information is maintained by run. Up to version 6, media contains external devices information. From version 7, run contains external devices information.
Ma'am, can you please repeat again the MNT and run?
Definitely. MNT contains mounted directories information. Which directory is linked with which partition? That information is maintained by MNT. And run contains kernel from version 7 onwards. RHEL version 7 onwards, run contains kernel. And external devices information, removable devices information. So like pen drives, DVDs, external hard disk, if you connected means, so the data it displays under run directory. See, if you connected pen drive, so where the data you can see means the content of your pen drive. If you open run, you can see the content of your pen drive like that. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Done. So these are the default directories you will get along with the operating system. These are the default directories. So about these directories in further classes, we will see practically also. Like when we create partitions, at the time you will see this dev directory. When we discuss about user administration, so at the time we'll see about this root and home directory. So when we are creating partitions, we'll see this dev directory. When we are installing something, we will see this OPT directory, like that, the concept. So particular practical we are doing means we will see this directory, the function of this directories at that time. Okay, I just gave theoretically what directories are they, that information I gave. Why I gave this information now? Because as a fresher, if you are going to any interview, as a fresher with zero level, zero knowledge, fresher level jobs, if you are applying for anything, so definitely you will get the questions from this. Okay, about these directories, you will get the question. For freshers, these directories are very important. And as an administrator, you must know which directory is used for which purpose. So that is the reason. So I explained it theoretically, because theoretically you will get the questions. In a written test, they will give these questions. Okay, so these are the default directories we have in Linux. // it is a parent directory or top level directory in Linux. It is similar to C drive in Windows. And next one is root. Root is the home directory for super user. As a super user, you logged in into computer, and if you create any files or directories, the data is going to store under root. And home is the home directory for normal user. As a normal user, you logged in into computer, and if you create any files or directories, the data is going to store under home. And boot contains bootable files. Operating system bootable files are stored under boot. Also kernel up to version 6. Sbin contains super user commands, the commands which can be executed by super user. That commands are stored under sbin. Bin contains normal user commands, the commands which can be executed by normal user. That commands are stored under bin. USR contains default applications, applications which comes along with operating system. That applications are stored under USR. Var contains variable files. System log files are stored under var. Dev contains devices information. Devices means partitions information is stored under dev. etc contains configuration files. System configuration files are stored under etc. And OPT contains optional applications. Applications which we install manually. That applications are stored under OPT. Media contains external devices information, means removable devices information. External hard disk, DVD writer, pen drive, that information is stored under media. MNT contains partitions and their mounted directories information. Which partition is linked with which directory? That information is stored under MNT. Run contains external devices information. Run contains external devices information and kernel information from RHEL version 7 onwards, means Linux version 7 onwards. So these are the directories we have in Linux. Is these directories are clear? And the notes, every directory notes I will share through Telegram. I already told,
Yes,
again
yes.
I'm telling, I will share through Telegram. Point wise, I will give forward slash
You will
and the
share
point.
today and tomorrow onwards.
Sorry?
That the notes you will share today onwards or tomorrow onwards, madam.
Notes, when you register, you will get the notes.
Okay, madam.
Yeah. When you registered, they will share the note. They will share the link, Telegram link.
So actually, they told me that these 3 days are demo classes, and tomorrow
Demo
onwards
class.
they are going to continue the actual classes.
Registered link. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So
See,
tomorrow
like
onwards.
this notes.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, madam. Tomorrow you will explain about that how to install that OS.
Yes, yes. I will show tomorrow how to install the operating system.
Okay, madam. So
That I will. And from tomorrow, daily practicals will be there.
okay, madam.
And when you registered with this course, ask them for the Telegram link also.
Okay, madam.
Okay, when you get the Telegram link, join into the Telegram through the Telegram link, join and just message me. I'll be joined.
Okay.
Once you they create, I will add into the Telegram link. Okay, for every batch, separate link will be there. It's like group link. Our only for our batch students will be there in that link group.
Okay, madam. Okay.
Okay, so I'll join. So you just message me there. When you join, anyone join means just let me know.
Okay, madam. Thank you.
Done. And another small point also will tell hardware requirement. This is the basic requirement, minimum requirement in order to install Linux. This is the minimum requirement. 512 MB RAM. Only command line interface if you are using 512 MB RAM. If you also want to use graphical user interface, 1 GB RAM is required, and hard disk space for command line interface 10 GB, for GUI 15 GB. I will show you installation with 10 GB only. I will install in 10 GB only. I will create the partition and I will use GUI mode. I'll show that. And directly I will not install in my computer in VMware virtual machine. In third party tool, I will install it. I'll show you that method. No need to disturb your computers. No need to install Linux in your computers directly. Using third party tool, you can
Ma'am,
install
currently
that.
I have a laptop that have 4 GB RAM and 256 GB SSD.
Okay.
So will it run?
Yes, 4 GB. Yeah, works. It works. Virtual
Okay.
machine, you need to install VMware software. What is your operating system?
It
Windows
is
11 or 10?
I think 10.
Okay. Download VMware 15. I will tell you tomorrow what to download. Actually, VMware 15.
Oh,
Virtual machine 15. Download it. So there I will show how to install Linux operating system.
okay, okay.
Hello. So tomorrow, I will show you the installation part. Practical, I will show you. First, I will explain you. Then I will show the practical. Okay. Once OS installation is completed, regular practicals will be there, like basic commands, how to log in into computer. So how to create files, the very basics, where we create the files, how to create files, how to create directories, how to copy, how to move. Very basics I will explain tomorrow. I mean, from tomorrow on, tomorrow is installation. After that, basics classes will be there. Okay, so everything one by one I will explain. Okay, any doubts to ask? And the topics, the file system hierarchy, which I explained, is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
And when I share the notes at the time also, just go through the notes, read every point what I gave there. So there also, if you have any doubts, you can message me on the Telegram. You can ask me in the classroom itself also.
Okay, ma'am.
Done. So this is about today's session. We just discussed about file system hierarchy. What are the directories we get along with the operating system? That we discussed. And what is the basic requirement? But file system hierarchy is very important for freshers. Okay, and so this is about today's session. We'll meet tomorrow.